So we're going to work a beginner's class here, mainly focusing in on sort of the fundamentals and those pre-Pilates exercises, just trying to get us ready to build with the Pilates method and all those exercises and all that repertoire on top. All right, so I'm working with Ruby today here. And we'll start with in this lying position, crook lying. The pelvis is in a neutral position. So we're just going to stay here and arrive on the mat. Let's start with that. So just feeling the spine. So we'll do a little body check here, feeling the feet flat to the floor and your heels are lining up with your sit bones. Thighs are gently dropping into the sockets of the hips. And that kind of helps hold your pelvis down into that neutral position. So the weight of the thigh bones in the sockets are holding your sacrum down heavy onto the mat. You're feeling that your pelvic headlights are level with your pubic bone. Good. And you've got that little space for the blueberry in the small of the back. Just stay here and breathe. Feel the natural rise and fall of your belly. Good. Keep that kind of focus into the breath going, and we're just going to engage the tummy muscles. So inhale, prepare. Keep your pelvis neutral. Exhale, feel the natural fall of your belly, drawing in, finding your center. Good, let's go again. Inhale to let that go. Exhale, drawing in. Inhale to release. And one more like this. Exhale, gently drawing in. Excellent. We're going to keep that coming, but we're going to rock the pelvis back and forth. So if you were thinking about your belly button being north and your pubic bone being south, we're going to rock from north to south. So as you exhale, rock the pelvis backwards, squashing your blueberry, tipping to north. Inhale as you rock to south. Good. Keep that coming. Exhale as you rock the pelvis back, squashing the blueberry. Inhale, dropping the coccyx back, feeling the space for the blueberry. And then let's go again. Exhale as you tip back, nice. And inhale to release. Now I'm going to leave Ruby just working this here. Now keep going, ribs, that's it, nice. So we've got the, you can use this sort of north and south. You can use the drop of the pelvis and think about whereabouts the sacrum is placed, whereabouts the coccyx is in place. It's a matter of practice and choosing what works for you and your clients as you're doing this. Great, let's go one more here. Rocking back on the exhale, squash the blueberry, heading to north. Inhale, drop the coccyx to the mat, recreate the space for the blueberry, finding south. Good. Take a moment there again. So maybe sometimes too many cues can be a bit confusing. I'm using quite a lot here because I want to give you some options, but feel free to pick the ones that you like and find the ones you like and kind of stick with them, because then your clients know exactly where you are once they get used to your cues. All right, we've done north-south, we better do east-west. So your pelvic headlights are your east and your west. So can you just try that now, rocking from side to side a little bit? That's it. So as one east goes further forwards in space, and then one goes the other way in space. Nice. You can get your butt cheek slightly lifts off the mat. That's it. And you just let those legs kind of respond to your movement as you're doing it. Yeah. This side to side movement can feel a little bit weird. I'm going to come in here and just rock you a little bit there. That's it. And feel how those legs just respond. Really nice. So we're just trying to find that mid position. So let's now, having done those, just settle down into that neutral position again, really having brought that awareness to the pelvis and that neutral position, because that's where we're starting. All right, we're going to do some leg slides next. So we're going to challenge that pelvis, and I'm actually going to use the ball underneath the foot. So let's pop the ball underneath that foot there. Good. Generally, I'd have the toes near the apex of the ball and the heel pointing towards the floor. Good. Let's just roll the ball away, straightening the knee, and then pull the ball back in again as you bend the knee. Feel okay? Good. So that ball, let's keep going with that, is just rolling along that train track, yeah? Lining up with your sit bone as you go. Exhale as you roll the ball away. Inhale as you pull it back in again. Good. So I've chosen to use it that way round because I want her to use the exhale to keep the pelvis still while she rolls the ball away. You could reverse this if you want to use the exhale to control and pull the ball back in, depending on what's happening through the pelvis here. Good. Let's just do one more here. Rolling away. Pull back in again. Good. And then let's switch your ball to the other side. Good. Yeah, might be easier just for you to walk it around yourself there. But there we go. How's that feel? We can adjust if we need to.
Yeah.
Good. So we're keeping the pelvis neutral as you roll the ball away, straightening the knee, and then pulling the ball back in again. Exhale as you roll the ball away, and inhale as you pull the ball back in. Just keep this coming, being aware of your pelvis, keeping the space for the blueberry exactly the same throughout. So the challenge here is the blueberry might want to roll away when the leg is straightened, and the blueberry might want to get squashed here. All right, so we're trying to, using those cues to try and maintain that neutral pelvis while she works this exercise. Sliding the leg away and then bringing the leg back in. So we'll just do one more. So we're challenging the pelvis to stop going into an anterior tilt as she rolls the ball forwards, or a posterior tilt as we come back. Nice, taking a rest there, I'll take that ball away. Creating stability while we move the legs. All right, let's move up the body a little bit now. We're going to think about rib cage closures. So I just want you to float your arms up in front of you. Yes, and then take your arms overhead. Then bring the hands back in front of you and then release them down by your side. So that's our movement. Let's layer on the breath. So you're going to inhale to float the arms up in front. Yes. Exhale as you take them overhead. Nice. Inhale to bring the arms back up in front of you, and exhale as you release them down by your side. Good. Keep it coming. Inhale to float up. We use the exhale here. Go again to connect the ribs and close the opening of the ribs there at the front. And then inhale to bring the arms back up again. And then exhale to release them back down by your side. Good. We're going to do 2 more of those. Inhale to float the arm up. Exhale as you reach them overhead. Sliding the rib cage down. Sometimes talk about sliding them down into the front pockets there. Inhale to bring the arms back up again. And exhale to release them back down. I said 2 more, didn't I? So we better do our last one. Inhale to float the arms up. Exhale, funnel your ribs down towards your pubic bone. Good. I want a bit more. Good. Now laughing is great. Look, see how that holds those rib cage down. Good. Let's bring the arms back up again and release back down again. Good. That often happens when I start palpating people's rib cage, that they get that laughter. But that's what we're after. That kind of just closing down of the rib, being aware of that position, that rib cage control to maintain that alignment. Right, we're going to move on to a little bit of mobility now. We're going to do some spine curls. I often call this a bridge. So bringing your feet back a little closer to your bottom. That's it. Great. Let's see how this goes. And then we're going to roll the pelvis back, squash your blueberry. That's it. Push down through the feet and actually lift the pelvis off the mat. Good. Now melt the ribs down. 1 vertebra at a time is going to hit the mat. And then you release the pelvis back into your neutral position. Good, let's do that again. Exhale as you roll the pelvis back, squashing your blueberry. Yes, drive up into your bridge position. Inhale when you get to the top. Exhale as you melt the ribs down. 1 vertebra at a time hits the mat, releasing to your neutral to finish. Good, and really feel that release as well. Let's do a couple more of those. Exhale as you're rolling up into your bridge. Reach the knees over your toes. Inhale at the top. Exhale, feel like you're melting your ribs down so the back of the rib cage hits. That's it. Low back, releasing to neutral. 1 more and then we're going to make a change. So roll up into your bridge position. Reaching the knees away. Inhale at the top and exhale as you melt the ribs back down again. Nice. And releasing to neutral. So here comes that change. Let's release to neutral first. Good. Exhale as you roll up into your bridge position. Good. Inhale, bring the arms all the way up and overhead. Good. Leave them reaching overhead as you roll back down through the spine. Feel almost like you're lengthening out from your armpits as you go down. Release that pelvis back to your neutral position. Bring the arms up and release them down by your side. Whew, let's do all of that again. Exhale as you come up into your bridge position. Hold at the top. Inhale, take the arms overhead. Nice. Exhale as you roll down one vertebra at a time into that. Yes, yes, yes. Rolling out of your armpits. Inhale, bring the arms back up again. And exhale to release down by your side. We are just going to do one more of those. Exhale up into your bridge. Very nice. Inhale, take the arms overhead. Keep reaching the arms overhead as you exhale. Roll down through the spine. Leave the pubic bone in the air for as long as you can. And then drop it between your legs. Inhale, bring the hands up. And exhale, release them down by your side. Great job. Okay, we're going to come up into a standing position. Let's just flip over and come onto your hands and knees right where you are. Good. And we'll just take a little shelf stretch, dropping your bottom back towards your heels. Creep your fingertips forwards, kind of press down through those hands and reach your sit bones back just to find that lovely length there. Good. And then we're going to transition into a standing position. So we'll just come up onto all fours. We're just going to tuck your toes, push your bottom up into the air and just kind of push back into a down dog there a little bit. Nice. And then walk your hands and your feet towards each other and carefully come on up into a standing position. Nice. I'm going to get you to come and stand on my little black mat here. We're going to turn and face the front. Good. Now thinking about your standing posture. So we've done a lot of that pelvis in the lying position. So just think about bringing your outer hips to line up with your outer ankle bones. Just try and be as relaxed as you can through the pelvis. Nice broad, easy collarbones. Yeah. And a nice easy breath. So we're going to do a waist twist now. I'm going to come sort of sideways onto you actually, I think. Here we go. So we're going to make a genie arms here. Drop your armpits and grow nice and tall. Keep growing tall as we just twist to one side. Bring it back into the center and then twist to the other side. Really nice. Easy done. All right, keep them coming. Exhale as you twist to one side. Inhale to return to center and then work to the other side. Now you can keep that going, Ruby, but when you're doing this, with your clients, you can reverse the breath here. It doesn't matter too much. I like the exhale because I like to feel like I'm working my rib cage as I pull across. And I really like to get that sense of where the obliques are attaching into the ribs here and creating that twist. Good, we'll do one more each side, Ruby. You're keeping your pelvic headlights facing forwards as you do the twist. That's it. And we're getting that rotation through the waist. Nice. And that's your last one. I think you're even. That feel even? Okay. Release the hands down by the side. We'll pretend we're even. All right. So we're going to finish off with a side reach. This is really lovely. So nice and lengthened through the spine. Let's float this right arm up. Sweep the arm up and over the ear as you side bend. Really nice. Bring it back up through the center and release that down by your side. Let's do the other side. Bringing up and over as you side bend. Nice. And bring it back through the center. Now, same thing again. Let's keep that pelvic headlights nice and still and facing forwards. Let's do a couple more up and over as you side bend. That's it. So watching that hip doesn't swing out too much. Nice. Bring it back up through the center. Release. And we'll just do one more. Up and over into your side bend. Return. And release the hand down by your hips. And well done. Nice start with our basic pre-Pilates, working into some of those fundamentals. Well done.